Question.
Hi, Senator Vance. I'm Fallon Roth from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
That's all right. Let's let her ask her question, and then we can boo afterwards if it's a ridiculous question. Go ahead.
This is your first stop in the Philly suburbs. Why did you choose Bucks County? And how can Republicans win back the suburbs in 2024 after President Trump lost in 2016 and 2020?
Well, I think there are a few things. First of all, look, we're going to make an argument to every Pennsylvanian. And I understand why you're asking the question, because you're looking at the demographics of politics, but I don't believe in this segmentation of urban, suburban, rural. We're all Americans, and Donald Trump and I are going to fight for every single vote. But look, if you look at the issues that really matter to folks here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, you hear the same things, whether it's in Bucks County or whether it's in a much more rural part of Pennsylvania or whether it's in downtown Philadelphia, where I have spent a lot of time. In all these places, you hear three big concerns. One is public safety, one is the cost of everything, and the third is the wide open southern border. And look, we've got the big difference between President Trump and Kamala Harris. There's so many things that we could point to, but I actually think the biggest difference in this campaign is that Kamala Harris is ashamed of her record and Donald Trump is proud of his, and rightfully so. Because when you let in 13,000 illegal immigrant murders, that's not just murderers that shouldn't be in our country. That's police officers that are dealing with those people instead of with problems that are a little bit closer to home. When you shoot inflation, when you shoot the price of groceries up by 25%, the price of housing up by 40%, you make it so that even the hardest working Americans cannot afford to live a good life in their own country. I mean, I really worry. Maybe the single problem I worry most about, other than the border, because we've got to get the border under control, is young people telling me that they cannot afford to buy a home. If you take millions and millions of young Americans who would like to start families, who would like to have children, and make the housing market so unaffordable for them that they don't feel like they can own the American dream, you're going to destroy this country. We've got to get housing prices back to a reasonable level, give Americans a stake in their own country. And I think that is one big difference from 2020, but it's one big difference from my entire life. Is my entire life, most Americans can afford to buy a home. Maybe not a fancy home, maybe not a giant home, but most Americans can afford to buy a home. I think it's something like 65% of our fellow citizens have no real prospect of owning a home in this country. It's a disgrace. It's because of Kamala Harris's policies, and Donald Trump and I are going to make American housing affordable for Americans again.